All right, welcome to another episode of Medicine Mondays. Yours truly, Dr. Pierre, your favorite board-certified attorney, host of all things Medicine Mondays, Real Physician Reacts, a Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry, of course. And this week, I'm excited because I'm just coming back from a conference that I look forward to every single year. And if you've been following me long enough, you know that it's not a medical conference. If you've been following me long enough, you know that the types of conferences that get me hyped and energized are far from medicine. Now, let me add my caveat here. It's not like I don't like going to conferences. It's not like I loathe them. It's just that you go, you get some learning. The energy just isn't there for me in comparison to these other conferences I like going to, right? In fact, this conference I didn't even go to. It was a virtual conference this year, the ClickFunnels conference, which is this software and community that I've been a part of for 4 or 5 years, if not longer. Like, it's been a while since I've been a part of this community, and I look forward to their conferences because, again, as you know, as a physician and, person who does this social media, as you watch me or listen to me now, I understood that, hey, as a physician, just being smart medically wasn't going to be enough. If I wanted to educate the community who I needed to educate at a bigger level, right? Like, yes, I can educate the person who comes into my office or the person who I see in a hospital, but then there's hundreds and thousands, millions of people who won't get the education needed because of access reasons, because of trust reasons, because of the fact that there's so much bad information that they have to sift through. So I understood that I needed to not only put my medical thinking hat on, but put a different hat on, which was the marketing and everything else kind of under the sun, right? Which is why we have the YouTubes and the TikToks and the podcasts and all things kind of under that umbrella. And like recently, especially if you follow my TikTok, you already know this, but recently I actually became what we call a certified funnel builder, right? And what that means is that I have been certified to, build any type of funnel, right? Now, again, this isn't one of these like tech conversations today. I just wanted to kind of give you a little introduction in where I'm going. So came a certified funnel builder, went to the conference, virtual conference. It was amazing. A lot of great speakers. I think the person who probably stood out to me the most was Lamar Tyler. He knocked it out of the park. He had this kind of saying called nugget. Like, if you got something from his presentation or you learned something while he was speaking, you had to say nugget. Like, he absolutely killed it. So shout out to Lamar Tyler for that. And it just helped energize me in a way because I go to these conferences, again, obviously to be, learn how to market, learn how to become a better marketer, but figure out, how can I take what I learned over here and bring it to you guys? Like, how can I take what I learned on the marketing stage, on the, ads and everything else, and then bring it to educate you guys? You guys know I'm a co-founder of Autism in Black, my wife's company. She does amazing things for her community, with her community. And obviously I do the things that I do here because we like to make sure that the wider net of people understand the message, because we didn't want to be your best kept secret. I always tell my patients all the time, like, I can't be your best kept secret because then I'm doing this service for the rest of the community who may need me. I always say that. So I come from this, great, like, so it was like 3 days. Yeah, 3 days virtual. I was in the comfort of my own home and I'm doing my learning. And there was a lot of discussion on the use of AI, the use of technology, the use of automation to try to make things better for your customers. And one thing I always try to equate my patients, right, is, hey, it's like they're my customers, right? I tell doctors all the time, if instead of calling patients, you call them customers, you would probably treat them a little better. You understand what I mean? When you hear about the customer is always right, there's no saying of the patient is always right. That doesn't happen. So I've switched my terminology and thinking, especially with the people I take care of, like, all right, these are my customers. How can I make sure my customers are happy? How can I make sure my customers, which could be family members, which could be friends, are happy as well with the job that I'm doing? So I said, how can I take what I learned over here, right? Take the nugget, shout out to Lamar Tyler, that I learned over here and to help bring it to you guys, right? And how can I help grow the business of, Dr. Barry Pierre? Obviously, that's really the name of the game. How can I help grow that? And it's so funny, because the type of job I'm in right now, I work at nursing homes, long-term care facilities, hospitals, but I don't have like an outpatient practice. I'm not dropping a surprise like I'm about to open one up. That's not going to happen, at least for the foreseeable future. But the reason why I say that is that a lot of the stuff I do, whether I'm doing a podcast, whether I'm doing a YouTube video, whether I'm doing a YouTube short, a TikTok video, if I was the type of doctor who had an outpatient practice, that would be great, right? Because I would just send people over to my outpatient practice. But with the way I practice medicine, it's almost, I don't want to say like running into the brick wall, but when I do all of this education over here and someone says, man, I would really love, if Dr. Pierre was my doctor, right? And then they realize no, I don't actually have a place for you to be my patient if I wanted you to, right? I know that there is almost like a letdown from the community, right? Shout out to the Lunch and Learn community. I know there's like a letdown. I'm trying to figure out how can I use what I learned to help grow the Lunch and Learn community, but also better them. If you've been following me long enough, social media stuff I've probably been doing for closer to a decade. It sounds wild. I've been an attending physician for a little bit over a decade this year. In fact, it just hit the over the tech, so I can say that. It's been over a decade. But I've been doing social media stuff since I was a medical student, right? Just to give you an idea. So this is 2009. So about 15 years of kind of being on social media, going through doing lives and blogs and everything else. And those who followed me before remember that I used to start out just blogging. It was Dr. Pierre's blog. It wasn't even drbarrypierre.com. It was Dr. Pierre's blog. And eventually I had to change the website, right? Because I was like, oh, well, I'm doing more than just blogging. So it seemed kind of weird if I just kept sending people over to Dr. Pierre's blog, but I'm doing all these other things as well. And that's when I started doing the Facebook videos. Shout out to my early Lunch and Learn watchers. And then we progressed to the podcast. Almost kind of went backwards and said, oh, we should probably start recording the video aspect of it. Then we started doing video, right? That's kind of the pattern that's been going on. So I'm figuring out, all right, what can I do? I have to kind of get back to my roots while also serving the Lunch and Learn community. So I've been working, right? Y'all know me. Once I have an idea, I say, all right, how can I better the Lunch and Learn community to get them where they need to go, right? So I have to ask the question, all right, what is it that the Lunch and Learn community typically needs? Because a lot of times we will go into businesses or go into ventures and not ask, what does the customer actually need? We just think, all right, I think my customer would love this, this, and that, without actually asking them. So I'm looking at my website, right? I'm looking at the back end, looking at all of the data, and I see a lot of times that I'll do an amazing episode like this here, but then if they have a follow-up question, right? Let's say I do an amazing episode, a video episode on hypertension, which is great. But then they want to know a little bit more about hypertension. All right, is there any foods that are good for it? Is there what medications are better for it? They can't stay on my website to find that information. I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? So I was like, all right, so how can I do that, right? So I'm going to start having, right? Y'all are going to go through the growing pains with me, right? But especially by the end of the year, 2025, it's going to be smooth sailing. We're going to be adding a lot of more material, especially from a blogging and written perspective. Because right now, a lot of it is kind of dominated by either my podcast or my YouTube, but we're kind of going back to our roots, right? We're going back to the roots. There's going to be a lot more writing, a lot more blogs in there. A lot of the blogs are going to be very general in nature. So if you have a question all right, let me see if Dr. Pierre has anything on hypertension. Boom. I search his website. Hypertension pops up. Let's see if he has anything on high cholesterol. Oh, high cholesterol pops up. I stay on his site, right? Just to try to keep people in the community so they aren't having to bounce away and look and hopefully find something that is credible, right? If you're already on a credible website like mine, you should be able to at least find more information that will get you to where you need to get to, right? So I've been very excited about that approach. I think it's going to be something that the Lunch and Learn community is going to love, especially for the fact that, with technology and automation and AI, we're going to be able to make a lot of content a lot quicker, right? I think it's one of the things that holds up a lot of my colleagues, especially my physician colleagues, is that when it's time to try to make content, they're trying to squeeze it in. They're trying to squeeze it in into a small window because, life is lifing, right? They're working, they're doing life is lifing. So using a lot of these different tools, I'm going to put links in the show notes in my description as far as some of the tools I'll be using to try to kind of help ease the process while giving you guys more information, right? So I'm actually very excited about that. I was talking to my assistant. I have an assistant who does my social media stuff, right? Because again, I'm busy. And I was talking to her, just kind of getting like thought process, like, hey, this is what we plan on doing. We're going to add more material, provide more. Because that's all, at the end of the day, I just want to provide more, right? And again, if I had an outpatient practice, I would tell you I'm providing more to come to my outpatient practice, but I don't have one. So when I do the things that I'm doing, right? YouTube video, podcasting, when I do these things here, I'm literally doing it because I really love to do it. Right? Like I really enjoy doing it. I really love when someone says, hey, I saw a tweet of yours, I saw a video of yours that made me like call my dad and say, hey, did you get your colonoscopy? Like, hey mom, like, is your mammogram due? Like, I love when I get those messages, right? Absolutely amazing to hear that I can record this in the comfort of my home, and someone somewhere in this country, right? I'll keep it United States, but like I have some worldwide listeners too, will take it and say, oh, you know what? I do need to get on that. You know what? I do appreciate, Dr. Pierre educating me on what I need to get. I'm loving it. Like I said, I am absolutely excited for what's to come. Like I said, you're going to see a lot more material, especially on my website. So again, drbarrypierre.com, especially on my website, check out, like I said, we're going to have a lot more blogs. We're going to have like a nutrition section because I always get a lot of questions on, vitamins and minerals and what's the difference. So we're going to have a whole section just based off that, right? I'm just very excited for what's to come because I think it's going to be worthwhile to the Lunch and Learn community. And then it's going to just kind of keep people engaged on their health. Remember, empower yourself for better health, right? You have to do these things, right? And I know for a lot of people, I may be one of the few people that you actually trust to give you appropriate medical education, one that I'm very excited for. Thank you for it. And I want to make sure I take the time out to let y'all guys know I am thankful that you guys continue to come back to me, whether it be a YouTube video, whether it be a TikTok video, whether it be a podcast, a blog post, you see one of my tweets somewhere, especially if I'm not ranting and raving about Florida State or somebody, right? Like you see one of my tweets, say, oh man, I love what Dr. Pierre is doing. And like I said, we've been doing this for going on 15 years now. And I'm always excited that even in year 15, 14, whatever time frame it is, we still have ways to grow and get bigger and better for you guys, right? So very excited. Now, does that mean that it's going to take away from the stuff that we're doing now? No, like we're still going to be doing podcasts. We're still going to be YouTube shows. We're still going to be doing that front. Like that's still going to happen. But I think adding the additional support, especially with the blogging, especially with the nutritional sections, all these things here. And then, we'll have some more guests that will kind of help us focus on that as well too. I think all of these things here are going to continue to be great drivers for us to, again, empower ourselves for better health. Now, that being said, right, there is going to be a little caveat, right? And if you're not necessarily, again, on the medical, slant, right? Like if you're here just for medical stuff, like you got what you got. I'll see you next week. If you're not, just for my techies out there, because again, like I said, I feel like I'm a marketing nerd now, or I just enjoy learning about it. We're actually going to start a whole new YouTube channel as well. Yes, that is correct. We're going to start a whole new YouTube channel as well that isn't going to be medicine. It's not going to be anything medicine related. Like I said, it may have some flavor in it, right? In fact, I will have like some like medical business talks in there, but a lot of it is going to be about, hey, marketing and, landing pages and value ladders and terminology that doesn't make any sense right now. But once you go to that page and you catch some of these videos and you catch the introduction, you'll kind of understand where we're coming from and you kind of follow along, right? So if you're that tech, nerdy business, type person, like I'm going to have a page for you as well. If you're the health conscious, ready to think like a doctor, our motto here on this channel, how do I think like a doctor? That's the goal. And my goal is to educate the Lunch and Learn community to help think like a doctor. If you're that, I'm going to have this channel over here for you as well too, right? So we're going to have 2 channels. I'll probably definitely have a different website for the marketing YouTube channel. Because right now, I think we'll just start on YouTube. We'll just be doing YouTube videos. Yeah, I think we'll just probably do YouTube videos, maybe do an Instagram, but like at least for now, it'll be YouTube videos. The channel will be called Marketing with Dr. Barry. Right. So like I said, I'm going to still keep the doctor because I think it's going to be a nice little kind of niche to say like, oh my God, this guy's an actual physician, but he's really like talking business stuff, right? Like I think because it's always weird when I go to these marketing conferences and I tell them, oh, this is what I do. They always think that I'm there just to, like help how to build a funnel and gain more patience. I'm like, no. I'm actually like the technical person in the Autism and Black company. So I actually create the landing pages and the webinars, and I help, run the ads and all this stuff here. So I get very technical when I'm in these communities, which is always a stark difference when I go to like a medical conference, because then I'm a physician there. I'm a physician. I'm learning. It's health. When I go over there, it's all about business and marketing and secrets and all that good stuff, right? So like I said, it's two hats that I love, enjoy, but you don't have to worry about the energy and effort for our channel, right? Because we're still going to bring it. And like I said, just like I started earlier, we're going to bring a lot more, right? I'm very excited. Like, again, if you have not checked out drbarrypierre.com yet, check that out, because we're actually going to be doing a whole new website layout. So check out what the website looks like right now, right? Because in about a month or so, we're getting that redone for you guys, really just, again, to kind of keep up with some of the new changes that are happening. So just very excited about everything that's been happening, everything going on. I'm very excited to, again, continue to bring the up-to-date information, the factual information for my Lunch and Learn community as we battle all of this misinformation, disinformation out there. And like I said, I will put links in the show notes for the new YouTube channel, as well as links for some of the like ClickFunnels and the automation stuff that I'll be using. And put links in for all of that as well too, if you're interested, right? So y'all guys be blessed. Have a great week. And I'll see you guys next week. Same time, same channel.